Looks like a fake shovel and a fake broom are mightier than the sword, as the Department of Justice and ICE have to admit but continue to cover up that at least 2 of their ICE agents lied under oath in a federal court in an indictment and in a proceeding against 2 people, 2 migrants, to try to deny them their constitutional rights and put them in jail for the rest of their life. They lied, but instead of coming clean and naming who the agents are and taking any kind of disciplinary action, all ICE did today was file a 1-page document to ask the court to dismiss the indictment with prejudice because of the bad faith conduct of their own unnamed agents. This is the sordid tale of Alfredo Aljorna and Julio Sosa Celis, and how the federal courts have rushed to their protection and have forced the Trump administration to admit that they have lying agents in their midst. And Kristie Noem, of course, is at the center of it because she relied on all of these lies in the affidavits by the 2 unnamed, still protected members of ICE to claim that Mr. Aljorna and Mr. Sosa tried to attack violently members of ICE. This, as new reporting comes out, that Kristie Noem is in trouble again with Donald Trump because she may be having an affair with Corey Lewandowski, who used to be a MAGA advisor who works with her at Homeland Security, and they've been seen traveling together in a private cabin on a private jet with the door closed. I'm Michael Popok. Open the doors. You're on MeidasTouch and Legal AF. You might have heard of the story about the 2 gentlemen who were accused of using a shovel and a broom to attack ICE, but it turns out it's all a lie. In fact, we have the original video that shows what happens before Mr. Sosa was shot in the leg by ICE. Let's play the clip.
En la pierna. Por favor, ayúdenos, tenemos hijos. Asómalo por la ventana.
¿Y si disparan?
Asómalo así, nada más por fuera. Los de LAI, son los de LAI.
Miguel, quítate de ahí. Quítate de ahí.
¿Qué personas le dispararon? ¿Quiénes le dispararon?
Venían persiguiendo a mi marido hace como media hora, lo estaban tratando de chocar. Y llegó a la casa y como le cerramos la puerta, le dispararon.
I agents, they were following my husband and they hit his vehicle and we closed the door of them and they shot.
Ahorita me da miedo asomarme la ventana.
No, te voy a decir algo. Si no hubiese visto ni él, nunca me hubiesen agarrado. Ni que quiera. No hubiese pasado nada.
Y el carro, están aquí abajo afuera tratando de entrar a la casa. Por favor, necesitamos ayuda.
Que me pongas ahí para yo enseñarlo, para que venga la persona y nos
They
ayude.
now here outside trying to enter the house when you're
Porfa, no disparen.
están afuera de la casa.
Sí, en este momento están afuera de la casa tratando de entrar.
Yes, right now they are outside the house.
Anda para el cuarto.
Están abriendo un carro. ¿Ese es el suyo?
¿Cuál?
Están abriendo un carro en la parte de atrás.
Sí, es el mío. No es el mío.
¿Qué parte del cuerpo le dispararon a él?
En la pierna. Mira que dispararon una puerta. Hijo, ven. Hijo, ven.
Now, Kristie Noem, relying on the lies of ICE agents, and I'm sure they're not the only ones, who are the people who gang tackled and attacked Alex Preti? What are their names? We know the name Jonathan Ross, who killed and murdered Renee Good. What about these people? What is the department doing to get rid of the bad cops that have been incentivized to do civil rights violations on the streets and worse. But here's what Kristie Noem had to say when, based on whatever index card was shoved in front of her, she had to say about Mr. Adjorna and Mr. Sosa before the government had to admit that the agents lied about the attacks. Play the clip.
What more can you add from this incident last night?
Well, our agents were out doing what they're doing every single day across this country, is they were doing targeted enforcement, going after individuals that are breaking federal law. When this individual drove away, crashed his car, tried to run into a home, and as they were wrestling on the ground trying to detain this individual, two other men came out of that building and started attacking him with weapons and shovels and brooms. And as it was 3-on-1, the agent feared for his life and defensively had to take action. But, this kind of violence is perpetuated by what we hear the governor saying, what we hear the mayor in Minneapolis saying, and their irresponsibility is extremely reckless. Governor Tim Walz has my phone number. I have called him and talked to him and said, listen, you let your city burn down in 2020. Don't do it again. President Trump wants to keep everybody safe. We're enforcing federal law. We're protecting every single American. Work with us. I want to remind you that Minneapolis itself, under the mayor's leadership and the governor's leadership, released almost 500 criminals out onto the streets rather than bring them to justice and turn them over to federal authorities. So they know they're releasing murderers and rapists and drug traffickers on the streets of Minneapolis. We're out there making sure they don't harm American citizens, and we're getting attacked while we do it, but we're going to continue to do our work and do what's right because it's what President Trump promised the American people.
I keep hearing everyone talk about GLP-1 shots, and I was almost convinced until I remembered I really don't love needles. If there's a natural option that works, I'm going with that. This podcast is sponsored by Veracity, an all-natural way to slim down, get energized, and sharpen your focus by supporting your metabolism. Their solutions are drug-free, clinically proven, and doctor-formulated. If your goal is weight loss, try Metabolism Ignite, the #1 doctor-recommended GLP-1 booster and GLP-1 alternative. No side effects, no allergens. It's a natural, safe, plant-based aid that results in an 85% reduction in hunger and is clinically proven to lose, on average, 9 pounds in 90 days. Metabolism Ignite is made with lemon verbena and hibiscus extracts, green coffee bean extract, and magnesium. It's caffeine-free, and clinical trials showed no negative side effects from the ingredients. Just 2 capsules every morning. So, make the switch to GLP-1 the natural way. Head to veracityhealth.co and use code LEGALAF for up to 45% off your order. Once again, that's veracityhealth.co for up to 45% off. And make sure you use my promo code LEGALAF so they know I sent you. Now, the federal courts are moving quickly in this case. In the case of United States of America versus Mr. Adjorna and Mr. Sosa Celis, the federal judge assigned to the case, Judge Magruder, has dismissed the case with prejudice as requested by the federal government. Here's what we got from the federal government just yesterday. We'll post it in Substack for Legal AF as well. The United States of America respectfully moves the court for an order to dismiss with prejudice the complaint. That's a criminal complaint before a grand jury indicts against Mr. Adjorna and Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. Newly discovered evidence is materially inconsistent with the allegations in the complaint affidavit, as well as the preliminary hearing testimony, which means these agents not only lied in their affidavit, but they lied under oath in the courtroom. That was based on information presented to the affiant. Accordingly, dismissal with prejudice will serve the interest of justice. Signed, Daniel N. Rosen, United States Attorney. That's all. You need to out who these men were. You need to root them out of ICE and totally change the culture of ICE. Now, separately, Mr. Adjorna and Mr. Sosa Celis have filed a writ of habeas corpus to get out of jail. Even though they shot Sosa in the leg, he had to file a writ of habeas corpus. It landed on the desk of Judge Schultz, the chief judge in Minnesota, who has granted the writ of habeas corpus petition and also has ordered them released from custody, subject to conditions of release. One of the female partners of these two, who has a child who was badly burned and is in surgery, they actually, in an immoral, depraved way, moved her from El Paso to New Mexico. But a federal judge there sent her back. So federal judges are doing what they need to do to protect our rule of law against a lawless presidency and right down to a lawless ICE and Homeland Security. Now, Kristie Noem, who the Democrats have demanded that she be fired, who will likely be impeached very, very soon and hopefully taken out of her role for which she is woefully unqualified, has another scandal happening. It looks like she's in some sort of romantic relationship with Corey Lewandowski, who had been a Trump advisor in the first term. In fact, they were going to bring him to the White House, but Corey has a problem with his hands. He's been accused in the past of sexual abuse and sexual misconduct. Even a wife of a wealthy Republican donor said that he got very handsy with her and was a predator towards her. It's one of the reasons that Lewandowski didn't make it back to the White House the second time around. But apparently he made his way back to Homeland Security and inserted himself into the administration with Kristie Noem. And he's running the show with Kristie Noem, firing people, firing senior ICE officials, doing all of that. But when they're not doing that, it looks like they're playing footsie in the back of a taxpayer-provided private airplane that Kristie Noem flies around in, including a locked cabin where they're often back there for meetings, if you know what I mean. And new reporting is Donald Trump does not like the fact that Kristie Noem is playing footsie with Corey Lewandowski. And I would not be surprised if either Corey Lewandowski gets fired and or Kristie Noem does too. Not because of all the bad things she did to get Americans killed and to violate our civil rights and civil liberties, but because of this transgression. Well, we'll continue to follow it. You're on the MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok. Hit the free subscribe button here on Meidas. Come over to Legal AF on YouTube as well and hit the free subscribe button there. All of these documents that I've referred to, I'm posting on Legal AF Substack for our paid members. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.